You need to start switching from this to this. A lot of people are very reluctant to do the transition from a harness or a flat collar or a retractable leash to the slip lead because they're afraid the dogs are going to choke. And this is true if we don't know how to use this tool. It's a very useful tool, just like a lot of tools, but we need to learn how to use it. So we need to learn the skill of handling the leash, just like a cowboy needs to learn the skill of a rope. We need to learn the skill of the leash. And we also need to condition our dogs to the pressure of the leash. So I'm going to show you 3 steps in which you can start transitioning from harnesses, retractable leashes, or flat collars into the slip lead. Step number 1. I'm going to get the dog used to the sight and the scent of the leash, as well as the sensitivity on the neck. So I go ahead and put the leash on and adjust it on the neck, all the way in the top, underneath the jaw, behind the ears. Then I'm going to start walking and putting a little bit of pressure just for them to start the motion. Then I will continue moving around, and whenever they have to turn or wherever I use the pressure is very, very slightly. Right there, just a little bit of pressure and release. I don't want to use the leash to restrain. I want to use it to guide. So every time I make a turn, I create an angle. Right there, a little bit of pressure. Once they yield, I release. And I continue doing this for several times. Right there, pressure, release. More pressure and an angle, release. I continue doing several times, turning around. There's a little pressure, move forward until I get this. I could pretty much drop the leash and they will continue walking with me. Step number 2 is I'm going to transition from the backyard, which there were no distractions, to the front of the house where there's more distractions. There's cars, there's people, etc. So I repeat the same steps, only outside in the real world. Then again, slight pressure, yield, release. Slight pressure, yield, release. And then I take the time to connect and praise. And finally, step number 3, after you master 1 and 2, now you can start making longer walks on a straight line. Learning how to use the slip lead will give you much better control of your dog, but most importantly, it will help you communicate and connect better. Make sure you practice this several times a day for several days, and if you have any questions, leave them down below.